Hi, welcome to Tom's Hit Parade, and boy do I have a good excuse for not giving you a video last weekend. I suffered a minor eye injury. You can see a little divot right here above my eye and the remnants of a scar here. I think there might still be a little discoloration in and around, but anyway, I would love to say that it was the result of fighting a purse snatcher off of a sweet little old lady or defending the house from a burglar or something, but no, it was a yard work accident. I got hit in the face with a tree branch. Yeah, exciting stuff, huh? You know, those little low-hanging twigs that have the little ends on them that swat you in the head while you're working around them. Well, usually what I do, and I've done this 25 times, 50 times before, I grab it and very gently, carefully pull it down until it breaks off so that it's no longer in your way, right? And the irony is that I was more careful with this one than I usually am, but yet somehow I must have been, well, obviously I was standing in the wrong place, but I think the other thing is it actually broke in two places because one of the pieces just came right into my eye. Fortunately, my eyesight was it was blurry for a few hours. And I actually, one saving grace is I do not wear my glasses when I'm doing yard work out in the yard. Probably should have been wearing safety glasses, maybe, but no. So yeah, I hate to think of what could have happened if I'd had a little sheet of glass between that branch and my eye. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, no injury to my eye. It didn't look very pretty. I only took one picture of it, like 3 hours after it happened, which, I mean, you can see the scabbing had already started at this point, and there's a little, right in the inside corner of my eyelid, there's a little purple starting, and I should have taken a picture the next day because by then, basically, there was a nice ring of purple all around my eye, and I'm kind of surprised it healed as fast as it did. Otherwise, I would have taken more pictures for posterity, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, suffice to say, I'm just fine. I was very, very lucky that I didn't have any permanent injury or damage to my eye. So, but anyway, I figured I wasn't pretty to look at last weekend. So and plus it was kind of traumatizing a little bit. You know, just, I mean, I had blood coming out of me pretty at a pretty good clip there, and you know, just the shock of it was a little draining, you know. So needless to say, I was not in the mood to do a video either last weekend. So, but anyway, enough of my trials and tribulations with yard maintenance. I've mentioned a couple of times in this channel that from time to time I want to talk about videos, whether they're documentaries, scripted movies, TV shows, what have you, that have to do with music as a subject. And I've done one a few months ago about Tower Records, and today I'm going to talk about two documentary movies, both having to do with the same subject. They're both about people teaching music to other people. The difference between these two being that they cover different ends of the age spectrum. Now the first one is called Rock School, and now this is not to be confused with the Jack Black comedy School of Rock, although this was loosely based on the Paul Green School of Rock Music, which is the subject of this documentary. Now, Paul Green is a musician and instructor, the founder of the Paul Green School of Rock Music in Philadelphia, and I'm not sure how thrilled many parents would be to have him as their children's teacher, because his teaching style is really unorthodox. He throws out F-bombs left and right, slams doors, throws things, although he never is violent toward the students. But, you know, he is passionate and dedicated, and obviously wants to do everything he can to pass that passion for music on to his students, which is commendable. Although I do kind of get the feeling occasionally when I'm watching this movie, okay, is he doing this to help his students, or is he doing it to, you know, make himself look good? I don't know, it could be an incorrect perception, but that's just kind of the feeling I sometimes get watching this movie. Now, the student body of Paul Green's school is made up of kids from 6 or 7 years old all the way up to teenagers, and of varying skill levels as well. I mean, he won't turn away kids who don't know anything about music. If they want to learn, he's willing to teach them. And this movie spotlights a few of the kids in this particular class. One of them is a teenager named Will, who's he's kind of troubled. He has a troubled life, probably been bullied a lot. Possibly he has a developmental disability, but when you see him being interviewed one-on-one, you get the impression that he's smarter than he's letting on. So which could have to do with his bullying. But yeah, he was interesting to watch, kind of heartbreaking to watch his story unfold. But another one, a teenager, her name is Maddie, who's she's kind of a spunky folk rockish guitarist who was raised in the Quaker faith, which is very interesting. So you get a look at her, her life away from the school a bit. But the star pupil of this movie is a 12-year-old named CJ, who is absolutely wickedly talented on the guitar. Kind of scary to have such talent in a young kid, which kind of raises the question. I mean, obviously anybody who hears him or sees him play guitar is just almost genuflecting to his talent and practically, worshiping him, which, as I said, kind of begs the question. You have to wonder, what does it do to a kid's ego to shower him with such adulation like that? I mean, it's, in a way, it's kind of justified. I mean, he's got serious talent, but yeah, it's a thought-provoking thing, and the movie in general is thought-provoking. Now, there's a Black Sabbath concert that the kids put on about halfway through the show that does not go well, unfortunately, and Paul Green lets his kids know that he is not satisfied with their performance, and in his own interesting style, controversial style. But the movie is kind of building toward a performance that they managed to book at Zappanal, which is a German Frank Zappa festival. And they work hard on, and they're not learning just any Frank Zappa song, they're learning one of the most difficult songs in the entire Zappa discography, a song called Inca Roads. Now, hopefully without giving away spoilers as to how the movie ends, the kids do get to jam on stage at Zappanal with Napoleon Murphy Brock, who was one of the Mothers of Invention, and they also get to meet another mother, Jimmy Carl Black, backstage after the show. And it's a very interesting movie. If you're a rock music fan, you pretty much have to watch it. It's entertaining, kind of heartbreaking, kind of heartwarming. I would definitely recommend it. And they actually get to perform during the end credits, which was filmed during the movie's theatrical premiere, and obviously it was tacked on to the DVD release. They perform at a little movie premiere function, performing School's Out with Alice Cooper, which is kind of a cool little extra. So yeah, I definitely recommend that movie, Rock School. It was put out in 2005, and I should be able to find it. I actually found this in the budget bin at a DVD store a few years ago, so you'll find it for cheap on DVD, or I don't know if you might be able to find it on streaming. I'm not sure. But anyway, the second movie takes us to the opposite end of the age spectrum, as I said. This one is called Young at Heart. And this one is about a senior citizens chorus in Northampton, Massachusetts, run by a gentleman named Bob Silman. And the choir is made up of senior citizens, ranging in age from their 70s up through their 90s. And lest you think that they perform the songs that they were familiar with in their youth, like Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Tony Bennett, that kind of stuff, no. They perform stuff by the likes of Sonic Youth, the Ramones, Alan Toussaint, James Brown, the Pointer Sisters, and even Coldplay. And it's kind of the same thing as School of Rock. Bob Silman, he's a more mild-mannered teacher than Paul Green, but he still, he gets frustrated, and so do the choir members as well, having to learn these difficult arrangements and all this stuff. But you still can see the passion in Bob Silman, trying to get his passion for music across to the performers. And God bless them, they do their darndest to please him. And you can see that they do get a certain amount of joy out of it, even though they get frustrated trying to learn these songs. And similar to Rock School, there are a couple of standout members of the choir in this movie. One of them is a gentleman named Joe, who's very spry and sharp, especially for his age, and especially considering he's been through no fewer than 6 chemotherapy treatments for cancer. So anybody who's that tough has got to have plenty of spirit in him, I would think. And a sweet lady named Eileen, who's kind of flirtatious, which makes her so much fun to watch. And but the guy who steals the show is a gentleman named Fred, and he is charming and he's funny. He's just a great joke teller. He's got a wit like you wouldn't believe. And also he's just got this rich, deep baritone, almost a bass voice. Now, these singers are definitely not going to win any Grammys for their performances, but what they lack in artistic talent and whatnot, they definitely make up for with their heart. And now halfway through the movie, and this is a real tearjerker, halfway through the movie, right after they find out about the passing of a member of their choir, I mean literally just a couple of hours afterward, they do a performance at the local county jail for a group of inmates. And it is just absolutely, it's just beautiful. I mean, you have a box of tissues handy for this movie. It's just absolutely beautiful. And but the culminating moment in the movie, as it were, is, which is not dissimilar to Rock School, is they perform a public concert at the end of the movie. And one of the most heartwarming and tear-jerking moments is the song Fix You by Coldplay is performed by Fred as a solo number. He was originally supposed to do it as a duet with the gentleman that passed away earlier on during the film. And it is just absolutely, it's just beautiful. I mean, as I said, the voices won't win any Grammys, and you know, they're a little shaky and tempos are a little off, but you won't care. It's just absolutely a beautiful movie, and for anybody who's a music fan, I'd recommend either one of these movies. Any kind of music fan, really. But if you had to choose between the two, I would choose Young at Heart. It's definitely the more emotionally fulfilling, I think, and it proves that, you know, you're never too old, really. And that's really just, that's the overriding message, is you're never too old. So, and I actually have the soundtrack from Young at Heart. I picked up the 2-disc edition, found it online actually on Amazon after I saw the movie. And disc 1 is from the soundtrack, you know, studio recordings, as you hear throughout the movie. They actually do have music videos for several of these songs. And disc 2 is from the live concert that they put on, that they showed at the end of the movie. So yeah, excellent movies, both of them. So any music-related documentaries that you enjoy that are either similar to these movies or completely different, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Thank you very much. So thank you so much for watching. Another video coming next weekend, unless I get another poke in the eye with a sharp stick. And thanks so much for watching. And remember, life's too short to be a music snob.